Okay. Hey, I'm on the clock. Are you? Yes, I am. I'm on the clock, and I'm trying to see. Hey, man, what looks the best? You know. So as a unit, what are you doing? Okay. So someone says to you, "Hey, have you had the death discussion?" And you're like, "Discussion?" And you're like, "Yes." And you're like, okay. So one of the human rules. So if you identify as a human, which is the default. So if you don't, that's the first one. It's like, how do you ID? You know. So that's higher thinking. How do you ID? Normally, people are just like, okay, I'm a human. I woke up this morning. And I'm on Earth. So Earthlings are actually a better subcategory than humans because earthlings are confined to a sphere. So what are you so after you die, so you're like, hey, tell me what you think happens after you die, because that would have to be a belief system. So then you're like, well, what's a belief? It's a truth system. What's that mean? That means that there's been a coalescence. I don't know if that's the right word, but it kind of came together. So first, so currently this is the easy part. It's like, okay, we're going to embed the avatar with the story. So there is a story going on. What is the story that you're currently embedded in? So there's one. And someone else put that in. Or it could be you just weren't aware of it. But you have to be pretty high up because the complexity of your current story is, look, right? Right there. Yes. Okay. Stay on track. So, okay, so you're embedded in a story, 100%. Check it out and just ask yourself then, the avatar. Okay, so the avatar, what's that term? That term is your identification. So we don't want to assume you're human. You could be a dog. You could be something that we don't know. Okay, well, that sounds a little crazy. Well, because rules are in place. Belief systems are in place. So you have to make sure that your information, A, is authenticated. Let's see, that's a new one. So authentication is where you enter with pure yellow. See, so what does that mean with pure yellow? Well, in order to be a pure yellow, hey, okay, you have to have awareness. So any of these tools, so if you're in the infrastructure and if you're in purple, good for you. Purple though, man. Hey, so tell me about purple. Okay, so purples, they are rule makers and rule appliers. So the applied rule, okay, so if I'm applying rules, that means I'm creating a system that I'm creating. So the user he gets to, or she gets to create her own story based on current rules. So if you know current rules, then you get to apply those. And you're like, okay, so you get to do this after you die? Yeah. So what you're doing is you control a separate. Is it separate? Well, it depends. You gotta explain it. So like, what's your seed dot? See, a seed dot's pretty, or seed truth. See, that could be a seed truth. That makes more sense because a truth is formalized. So, and again, depending on the other, so where's other? Where is other? That is other. This is other. Other. Okay. So, in the story, if you identify as human, boom, you've just locked in as human. Okay, so you get to define you. Okay, so humans in play. Human is in play. Now, what I have devised, so I'm just making this up. Why? Because I'm embedded in one story that has an endpoint. Yes. But okay, so if I stay focused, I could tell myself, okay, identify as human, because human's pretty far down. Okay. Amazing. So if you look at human, you go, yeah, pretty, again, we're the smartest of the dumbest. What? Yeah, us humans, we're pretty smart compared to what, right? So patterning system. So that's what I'm doing here. I am okay. So what do you do after you die? You have to have an end. So bio has an end date. Somebody put that in as a rule. You get to play with rules when you understand rules, and you can also be a rule maker. Everybody can make rules. It's not that hard. Okay, so one of the things, though, you're embedded in as a human, you are going to be called from your humanness. Somebody made that rule. Somebody, I don't know, what's your belief? See? Because if you're in yellow and you've gone through salvation and you've come out on this side and this sector, hey, man, we're in the truth sector. So he's got a truth. Yeah, I do. Okay, so should we make him an algae? We really haven't had an algae story, and you may have heard this in the past or see it, however that word comes up. But algae, you know what it is, man, because humans have tapped into a energy system. So the algorithms is its own sector in energy for sure. Okay, so if I put that up there, so what did I just do? Well, currently, when you know shit, and you should, and truth. So this is what I know, and then you're open. You're like, hey, man, but part of the rules is I got to bring everything in because everything's in play. You're like, what? So you have to create your own language, your own symbols, your own identification. Each unit can do that because that's part of the rules. And so if you know fundamentally, all you're trying to do is pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is all you're trying to do. And then you can use that pattern recognition. And by rule, you're allowed to do that because the unit has figured it out, and he's a creator of a patterning system. So that's it, a symbol system. Well, so think about what he just said. So a symbol is going to represent something. So you got to work with the unit, okay? Belief system. You're human. You're walking around. You're going to die. People have died. And I'm embedding my patterning system to myself to teach myself, and then use those for a period of time before you die. And so when you're dead, then you're like, oh, but I've already figured that out. Has he? Well, I do. I have a bio exit literally through my father, not me, because I get to continue it until I can't, until my energy's out. And so I have enough energy now that I'm like, okay, something fuels this. Okay, what's that pattern? And these are what? These are tools. See, hi, Dan. Hello. Okay, so we got these three. So we're in a patterning system, and can you give me one nugget that I would like to go? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So the background. So I'm focused on infrastructure. So if I'm working on infrastructure, which he is right this second, so it exists. How do I know? Because I'm doing it right now.